Digital signatures are an important part of RackForms because they allow us to take what in many states is a legally binding signature and apply it to a form. The big question then, of course, is, well, how do we actually work with the signature data? And there's really two main ways of doing it. The first is just displaying a signature, and then the second is saving the signature. And there's kind of two subcategories there. The first is embedding a signature, and the second is saving it to a database. So let's take a look at all three of those methods right now. So first things first, of course, we have to collect a signature from our users, and we do that by adding under Advanced the signature module right here. And there's not too many things that we need to really set up here. The first is just whether we want the signature item required, and then we can play around with the different signature types like draw or text. But for the most part, we can usually leave this alone. Now when I do that, then I basically am going to get a signature item here that I can then draw my signature on. Of course, that brings up our first submission method, which is how do we actually display this? Well, if we look at my form here, I have a second form page that I'm going to submit to, and I've added a second signature item. And in this case now, I've changed only one thing, which is under signature type, I said display existing signature only. So in other words, this is going to take a signature that I choose from this guy right here, in this case signature 1 from the first page, and I'm going to show that signature to my users. So if I bring back in my form page here, you'll see when I submit now, I'm going to display that signature to my users. So that's the first way that we can do this. Now, that gets us to how we actually deliver this. So in many cases, maybe just showing the signature is what we want, but we probably want to do a little bit more with it. And so the first and most popular way is we're going to embed this in a PDF and email it to our users. So the way we do that is this. I'm going to select the page where I'm displaying my signature, and I'm going to scroll down to its PDF options. I'm going to enable PDF output, and then under PDF output mode, I'm going to say save for email output. Then on my submission page, I'm going to add the email item that I want, and that could be email or email plus. And then I'm going to scroll down just a little bit in its options, and I'm going to say include PDF file attachments. And what this is basically going to do is going to take any PDFs that we've created in our form using this output method right here. So PDF output, save for email output. It's going to take any of the PDFs that I've created using that method, and it's going to attach those to the email that I sent. And therefore then, because this essentially right here, this page acts as a template, I could create this any way I wanted to. I could put my signature wherever I wanted, and then when we send this, the user will get a PDF with the signature embedded on it. So that's the first way. The other way that we can do it is we can save the signature to a database. Now this is a little bit more advanced because it does require then that we actually pull that signature back out somehow, usually as a database image, but I do want to show you at least how you save it for right now. So basically, under my submission page, I'm going to delete that email item, and by the way, that's not to say that we can't have the email item there, I'm just going to delete it for the sake of clarity, and I'm going to add under, once again, Advanced, a signature module. Now in this case, the signature module is actually different from the signature module that we added to the form page. This is actually for dealing with the data of the signature. Now once again, by default, we can usually leave most of these items alone right here. The only one that we really need to change is under Process this signature form item, I'm going to select the signature item that I want to process. Now you'll notice here that I only have one selectable because only one signature item was set to accept input. This guy was only displaying it, so it doesn't actually show as an option. At any rate, just by changing this one value right here and leaving everything else alone, this is what's going to happen. RackForms is going to take all the signature information and it's going to put it into a database table called FB Digital Signatures. And we can actually see that we get this table installed by default whenever we install RackForms. And so this is what that looks like. I'm going to save my form here, and I'm going to submit it, and I go on to my submission page. Now if I refresh my database table here, you notice that I have a bunch of columns inserted. So the first is the entry ID, and this is really important because this is the entry ID of the form that we just submitted. Now entry ID is actually available to us when we submit the form using regular SQL, such as like SQL+, which means that in order to tie this signature data to, let's say, another database table, all I'd have to do is insert entry ID into that other related table, and then we could perform a join to get out its signature data. We also then save the field ID right here, so you can see that was signature 1. We have the raw coordinates of the signature. This is kind of like a big array of X and Y coordinates. And then we also have the signature image. And this is usually the most popular one because this allows us to use just a regular database image grab routine to actually grab this image data out of the database. And then finally, we have a couple other items like the hash of the signature, the IP address of where it was sent from, and then its created timestamp. Again, though, that's a pretty advanced method here, so I don't want to go too deep into it now. If you do have need for an advanced form submission, though, using these signatures, just let me know. We can step through it, info@rackforms.com. But that's basically it then. So as a quick recap, to capture a signature, usually we add a signature item to our page where we're going to be capturing the signature data. And so usually we set the signature type to one of these two, draw or type only. Then if I want to create my PDF, I simply create a form page where I'm going to have a template. I then scroll down to PDF output options. I select yes under enable PDF output, and then I save for PDF email output right here. And then finally on my submission page, I would add an email item. And again, it can be either one of these two, email or email plus, and I would just make sure to check the include PDF file attachments right here so that this PDF that was created is attached to the email. Again though, any questions, please let us know at info@rackforms.com.